This past weekend, I went to YCS Chicago with my friends Pasquale, Lucas, my girlfriend Aisha, and then my friends Ricky and Austin, and we had a blast. I'm going to be posting the video montage, hopefully, in the next couple days here, which is a collection of small clips that I took over the course of the weekend. That some of them are kind of funny. I don't know. Some people like video montages. I like video montages. If you don't, then don't watch it, I guess. But I took Volcanics, as most people suspected, and I, as well as Pasquale and Bobby Kenny, whose deck profiles have already appeared on this channel, we all were going into day two with X2 records. I unfortunately lost round 10. Pasquale lost round 11, and Bobby actually made it to top 32. I figured out of the three of us, one of us would make it to top 32. We had a pretty good chance. So it kind of sucks that not all of us could make it, but I'm really happy for Bobby and Pasquale and myself for making it to day two with rogue decks. They were the only two Ritual Beast players that made day two. I was the only Volcanic player that made day two. I eventually lost to Ben Leverett in round 10 after getting paired up to him. He was X1-1. I smashed him game one, and then game two, he got me with a very clever Denko Seka play. And then game three, we were in time, and I unfortunately had to take a 4,900 damage attack to the face, and could not make up the difference because I couldn't attack through the Valks, and I can only do so much with scatter shots. But anyway, I will go through the rounds, or at least some of the more important rounds, after I go through the deck profile itself. This is probably going to be a longer one because it was a long event, and it was an important event that I've been preparing for a while. So we played 3 Volcanic Rocket, nothing new there. 3 Volcanic Shell, 3 Volcanic Scattershot, 3 Firestorm Guards, 3 Fossil Dine Apache Cephalo. I made the decision last minute to add the third one, which was incredible. This card is auto-win against Necroz game 1. I didn't lose a single Necroz game 1 except for my round 2 match, and I played against 5 Necroz day 1 and 1 Necroz day 2. Yeah, my matchups were 5 Necroz day 1, as well as a BA, a Shadow, a Yangzing, and a Sylvan, but mostly Necroz. The field was just so much Necroz, it is crazy. But Faustino was like auto-win against, and like even if you go through all the strategies, like Faustino was good against Yangzing, it was good against BA, it was good against Dowls, and it was good against Sylvan. Like this card is just so good. No reason not to play it. And then I played 2 Effect Veiler, which was an out to Denko, as well as Trish, and it really can't be stopped. Like, I mean, it's really hard to get around Veiler except for like Book of Eclipse and Book of Moon, I guess. We played 3 Pod Duality. First deck I've ever played Upstart in. Luckily, I'm not on video saying it, but I did tell my friend if I made day 2 that I would pick up Super Upstarts, and then unfortunately made day 2, which meant I had to pick up Super Upstarts, but I couldn't find any, so joke's on him. I'd never played Upstart Goblin in a deck, because I always just think there's 3 cards you can fit in, but I played in a locals on Thursday, and my hands were so inconsistent that I wanted the consistency boost, and honestly, I have to say this made a huge difference. There were multiple times where Upstart Goblin like got me there, and I'm not a huge fan of this card. I don't think I'll be including it in a lot of decks going forward, but I definitely have a changed perspective on it, and wow, why is that one darker? Do you see that? That's weird. What's that to these from? SRL. Oh, this is a newer print. Okay, that's weird. Just one of them. Kind of a darker goblin, not to be racist. Anyway, we're playing 2 Magic Planter. It's pretty standard. 1 Lance. I had to cut 1 to make room for the upstarts. And then 1 Book of Moon. Lance is really good. Like, the later rounds, Necroz people weren't really playing Book of Eclipse, but the early round Necroz players were playing Book of Eclipse, so Lance helped against that. And then I did play Temple of the Kings. I mentioned this card in the first Volcanic deck profile after Premium Gold 2, and then I made a video about this card, and then everyone told me not to play this card, and then I tested it, and it's like so good. And then throughout the day, anytime I saw this card, I won. Like, it is so hard to lose if you open this card. It is just such a tempo changer. They never want to MST it. Not that people are really playing MSTs anymore, but like, holy shit, this is amazing. So obviously Temple of the Kings is good with our 3 reloads. You can normal summon Rocket, add a reload, and then immediately activate reload, which is like incredible. And that's cool too, because you can like, there was a game where I had like Temple reload Scattershot, or Temple reload Shell and Guards, so I could Temple activate reload, reload discarding Shell, draw a card, shell effect, search a shell, magic planter this, send it to the grave, banish to do 3 scatter shots, summon Firestorm Guards, get 2 more draws. Like, oh, this card's so good. So I definitely am glad I played Temple of the Kings. That's the moral of the story. The card's insane, honestly. Like, so fucking good. Like, I was sitting behind, yeah, and it's good with Reckless Greed because it turns it into Pot of Greed. But Pasquale was like sitting behind me, and I like Reckless into a Temple and another Reckless, which got me into like a reload and a third Reckless, and he was just like laughing. Like, that was actually my final game in day 1, like the match that I won against Heroes. I guess I played Heroes. So what didn't I play? I don't know. My math's wrong, possibly. But the last round was against Heroes. But Reckless Greed is really cool. Temple of Kings also very stellar. We played 2 Fiendish Chain, which are fantastic. 2 Breakthrough Skill, which I don't really know how I feel about this card anymore. Breakthrough Skill, like... Like, how do I put it? Like, Valor is good because it's like unable to be stopped. Fiendish Chain is good because it stops attacks. But Breakthrough Skill doesn't do... Breakthrough Skill is easily stopped like Fiendish Chain, but doesn't stop attacks like Fiendish Chain. So I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of just wish this was extra Valors, honestly. It never came up that I would banish it from the graveyard, so not really worth playing at that point. I played 1 Emptiness and then 1 Warning. A lot of people were playing Warning at this event, but I felt it was necessary because people were main decking Denko in Dallas, which I knew there would be. I say this every time, but like, you don't go on the Axter deck. None of these cards matter. I made this once, but none of these other ones matter at all. But there they are, just in case you wanted to see them. But I only went into Carnagorgon once the entire tournament and nothing else. For the side deck, we played 2 Fire Hand, 2 Ice Hand. I don't think you need 3 now that Cliff Forts are like not very prevalent anymore. Like, you're just gonna take the auto loss against Cliff Forts. Like, it's not worth siding a ton of shit for a deck you might not even play against. Like, if you're still playing Cliff Forts, fuck you, first of all, because the deck's horrible, but it does have a pretty good matchup against this because you can't scattershot anything. And then I played 2 Lancia. Most of the day, what I was doing was siding in 2 Fire Hand and 2 Lancia against Nekroz. I wish I played 3 Lancia. This card was like easily the best card in the side deck, and I wish I played 3 for sure. And then the Fire Hands were in there just to stop Denko, pretty much. But sometimes I would side in 1 Fire and 2 Ice Hands if I knew they were playing Decrees. But there's a lot of different things you can do. And then I played 2 Shadow Mirror, 2 Light Mirror, 2 Iron Wall. These weren't for Nekroz. These were only for Ritual Beast because that deck is just impossible to beat. And then 2 Catastrophe, which was really cool. So you can like set this with Reckless and a reload. Activate the reload to draw a card, and then they attack and you Catastrophe, chain the Reckless. They lose all their shit. Like, it's really cool. Like, this card is good in decks that can set it alongside other back rows, so they never see it coming. And it got in there, I'm not gonna lie. And then I played 1 Cylinder, basically just for time. I was gonna main deck these. I was gonna make like a set of cylinders, but I just didn't like them. It was more important like removing a monster from the field. And like the upstart, like you're not gonna play upstarts and cylinder. So I don't know. I just felt I felt the consistency of upstarts was more important than the damage from cylinder. What were some cool things that happened throughout the day? Against Dirk Wagner, who was a Nekroz player that is kind of well known. Basically what happened was he had not seen the Faustina all game 1, and I was at like 800 life points. And he had a Gungnir on field with a Nekroz in hand, a Unicorn on field, and maybe a Brio? Like another special summon monster. I don't entirely know. Anyway, I had a Shell Engrave and Faustina in hand. And I was at 800 life points, so I activated the shell to search the second shell, and then I like said, wow, okay, I guess if you have Manju, you win. And I like set the fossil down defeatingly. He summoned a Manju, and I was like, oh, okay, you got it. And then he like asked me to cut his deck, and I'm just like, no, like we don't need to cut decks, like you have this. And then he like overlaid for Dweller, thinking I like set a hand maybe. I guess it was his ideal thing. So he had a Dweller, a Unicorn, a Gungnir, and then another special summon monster that I can't remember. Possibly a Trish, possibly a Brio. And he attacked in a Faustina, lost all of them, and then I was quickly able to secure the game. At that point, he was out of mirrors, and it was amazing, and that was crazy. Also, that match we went into time because that game was game 1. It took like 28 minutes. And my opening hand game 2 was like double scatter shot, Veiler, like breakthrough skill, and I don't even know what the last card was. Might have been duality. I don't know. It was really shitty. But the point is that I and there was a cylinder. Yeah, that was okay. So I cylindered a Unicorn first turn. And Faustina. Okay, so that must have been it. I went second. He summoned Unicorn past. I set Fossil Dyna and Cylinder. He attacked. I cylindered his Unicorn. Next turn, I just I drew a shell, so that's pretty great. Horrible. I set the shell, set the breakthrough skill. He tried to Trish. I breakthrough skilled. He tried to Diamond Dire. I Veilered. So he has Diamond Dire and Trish. Diamond Dire attacks over the shell, and then Trish attacks over the Faustina, blows up both monsters. He might have. Yeah, there's a good chance that he had Gungnir'd the Trish before he attacked the Faustina. He just lost the Diamond Dire. So anyway, my hand's like double scatter shot. I'm currently ahead by 2,300 life points. It's my second to last turn time. He has one more turn. I just set a scatter shot and passed. He summons a Valk, I believe. Yeah, I think he summons a Valk. No, he might just summon a Brio. And he attacks into the scatter shot, and the scatter shot puts me ahead by 2,800 life points, and he can only do 2,700 damage. So I won by him attacking a scatter shot, and that was pretty freaking cool. If I do have to say so myself. Other stuff that happened. I'm trying to think. Oh, don't want that magic cylinder in the main deck. That would be awkward. One thing that's worth noting is they had secret Firestorm guards. One of the vendors did, but they were 25 each, and I was like, that's $5 over retail for each of them. That's like $15 more. So I didn't buy them. Probably buy them online, I guess. I mean, they were unlimited. They were 25. They weren't mint. It was like, that's just not worth it to me. But I think that's mostly it. Veiler was really good. Really, really good. Temple of the Kings was MVP, for sure. And then Fossil Dyna, playing 3 of them, was like the best decision I made. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I will have a Battle Pack 3 deck profile. My deck was really powerful. I feel I actually used like a real strategy as opposed to just throwing cards together. That'll be up later this week, as well as the video montage. But I will see you guys later. Bye.